Hey everybody, hwsteele. Today is August 15th, 2020, and in this video I want to talk a little bit about price. Now, the last few weeks I've had a lot of family stuff going on, and the next week or two I will still continue to have family stuff going on, so I don't have the time to sit down and organize and make the videos on the tunnel through the air like I talked about. I was going to make 2 videos for that. I will still make those videos, but it's going to be a week or 2 before I can get to that. So with that being said, I wanted to go ahead and do this video, which would be a lot easier to make. So we're going to talk about price projections, and we have here the silver US dollar cross pair, the Forex. So we have the spot silver market right here in the 5-minute chart. We have August 14th right here. So this is August 13th. And what we're going to do is we're just going to measure 50% extensions and see how important they are. If we measure from, we have the big low right here, so we have a move up, we had a retracement here, low, and then we moved up right there before we had another big retracement. If we measure 50% extension from that, there we go, we see that, and in case you're wondering, this is the retracement tool, not the extension tool, but I'm using it as my extension tool also, since the 50% extension is mathematically equivalent to moving up to the 1/3 mark and then using the 0 mark as the 50% extension. So we can see here that it kind of pointed to this level right here, and that we just moved up for another 10 minutes or so and then came down, but we want to be more precise than that. So the thing we really want to look for is impulsive moves like this right here. So we're going to measure the impulsive move and make a 50% price projection from that, and we see that right here we catch the last candle up before we have a 10-minute retracement, but then we move significantly higher. In other words, we know very quickly whether we're going up or down. And of course there's actually timing methods that you can use that will help you, cyclically speaking, help you figure out whether it's going to be a consolidation and a continuation or a consolidation and a reversal. But that's not what I want to talk about right here. That would be giving away the farm, so to speak. So what I really wanted to talk about was the 50% price extensions and the impulsive moves, measuring them from the impulsive moves as it's a bit more accurate. So since we continued higher, we would want to go up to the next price level, which would just be making a 50% price extension from this measurement right here. So we just have to measure, bring this up here. Let's see, let's find out exactly where we were. Okay, right below there. So our 50% price extension comes up to right here. And at this point, we get the exact top twice, actually, since we had a double top right there. But we moved down significantly from it, and it took very little time before we realized that that was going to happen. And we have a nice retracement from it. So then we have to look for, we don't know at this point. We get a retracement. We don't know as we're moving back up. Are we moving up or are we moving down? Based on price, I'm talking. So we would find the most, not the most, but the first impulsive part of this price move down, and we have an impulsive move here that we can use. So we would just get that, the top there, measure down there, and we find that we're finding the bottom here. We had a retracement up there ever so, it moved up to 25%, 30% actually, but it just took the 5 minutes to do it. And then we would make our extension here, down here, as this price level got broken, before this price level got broken. So we would continue to the downside, and we find that it comes down here, spikes way down here, but it closes right below our price extension line and then continues to the upside. Now we can make this our new price level right here, and we see that eventually we get fairly close to it right here. But this top right here, let me move it a bit, this top right here is ever so slightly higher. It's almost precisely the same, but it's just a tad bit higher. So we wouldn't necessarily want to continue using these lines, although we could, because we see it catches the bottom here fairly nicely. And then if we do a price projection from right here, we see that it catches the next bottom fairly precisely. So the 50% price extension is extremely useful and extremely important and ties up with certain cycles extremely well. And the anchor points for these cycles is really, not cycles, I'm sorry, for these price extension levels is really the impulsive part of the move. The first one is usually, not always, but usually the best to use. We see here that, let me zoom in a bit. We see here we have a move up here, but it's not really impulsive. The impulsive move comes right here. Can you see why? He had price, repeated price area right here. So this is not actually an impulsive move, but this is. So we would measure the low here, and snapping to those, let me move it, and then the high here, which the high would be right there. So we have this one which doesn't quite get to it, and then this one which was ever so slightly higher. Now if we actually measure from the very bottom of this impulsive move as opposed to the bottom of the swing, we find that we're much more precise with this level right here. And then we would make this our new projection, which was never touched. So, and then the price did move lower, so we would want to continue to use that. It wasn't a double, it was significantly lower, a double bottom, I mean. So that's just a couple of examples right there. Let me go to, well, I don't know. Let's do the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Again, it's the 5-minute chart. So we have an impulsive move right here, and we can call it all the way up to there. 50% price extension gives us this top within just a few points right there. And then we move down significantly. So the point is, these price levels, you're going to know if it moves through or retraces from them very quickly. Let's find a couple more here. To the downside. Well, this is a good one right here. We have the 50% price level right there, which is right smack in the middle of a gap, which is pretty impressive. So we use that as our next 50% extension level, and we find that it's got the bottom right there. And then since we don't make it past this top right here and we continue lower, we would continue making our extensions, and the next extension would come to right about here, and we see, you know, we catch this one right here, so forth and so on. And the last extension would be significantly below that, so it wasn't touched during the day. We could use, that's the first impulsive move right there, so we can use that to the upside. And by now, I'm sure you guys are seeing how this is working. So we go right through that line. That line becomes the next point from which we project a top. And we get right up here to the top. And when we close right above it, we just come falling down from there. Anyway, it's really easy to do, as you can see. I'm not going to waste any more of your time, plus I really have to get going. So, the 50% price extension from impulsive moves is a very, especially intraday, is a very handy thing to project onto your charts. You can also use it, on longer time frames also. There's no issue with that. It works with that also, but you can also use it in conjunction with certain cycles, and I don't think it would be too hard for you to find those cycles if you really put some effort into it. So anyway, this is hwsteele, and I will talk to you in a week or two.